I want to dig onto just Richard a little bit, and because I think you all have got some really just good time with him and stuff that I've never met him in person yet. I'm jealous of anyone who ever does and gets to spend time with him. Did you ever have some moments or times where you felt like he said something or did something where you're like, whoa, like you just had this feeling of hope, like you just had this feeling of, wow, this guy is trying to do something good? And the other side too, did you ever have an experience where you just get a gut punch, like, oh, well, that's not what I thought how this is going to go? Like, has there been wild swings in the experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some truth in that. I think that in general, that's been my experience with people who are in the arena, right? Like, I think that it's very easy to sit on the outside and have opinion rather than being in the arena. And I have two boys who play soccer, and so for the better part of the last decade, I've been on the sidelines, in your little camping chair or whatever, yelling at the assistant referee and yelling at the center ref about everything that, it's easy for us to have said they've done incorrectly. But in the last week, myself, both boys, and my wife, all four of us attended referee training. And so we're all earning our referee certificates. In fact, we've all just become certified as soccer referees. And as a part of that, you're going through, all kinds of online quizzes, all kinds of education, in-person education. And then they throw live scenarios at you where you have flags in hand and whistles and balls and people are running and, all that kind of stuff or whatever. And I'll tell you this, the safety of sitting on the sideline in the camping chair and watching the soccer game gave you the confidence to feel as though you knew every call and every call that was correct and wrong. The moment that you have that flag and that whistle and it's live play and it's on you to be making those decisions, it is a significantly, by a factor of more than 100x, more challenging, difficult, and the responsibility weighs heavy on you. And so, my insights into these, moments from Richard, where you have, leveraged hope or leveraged despair, right? They tend to be factored as well, right? Because you're getting them from somebody who's in the arena. It's not just speculative. It's not just sideline kind of conjecture. It's somebody who's actually in there doing the work and needing to react to what's happening. And so, interestingly enough, probably some of my largest hope and largest challenges in Insight with Richard would come from him live reacting to something that's happening in the moment off camera. So we're in between, moments that we've chosen to film or whatever, and something comes through via Telegram or Twitter or a YouTube comment or something of the nature. And it's just it's the same reaction that you get from him when he's live streaming or when we captured or had conversations with him on film. Like he's talking about each of those moments. But it's that, like, man, if you just have patience, like you don't even know what's coming around the corner, right? Like that level of faith in himself and in his own products to say, like, hey, like long-term time horizon, he is convinced of where this thing is headed, right? Like, and to hear him react to other people's doubts or challenges, just kind of talking to himself is interesting. And then likewise, his frustration with, continually being questioned or the timelines that were being, questioned, or his own self-imposed deadlines that he continued to miss, right? Like those kinds of things or whatever are interesting because you would know that, like, if he had expectation for himself and he's not meeting it, then that's an interesting leverage as well, right? Like, and we all have been there. Like we've all experienced those things. So, I think that it's in those moments of the in-between that those things became, most clear for me around both the opportunity and the fragility, you know what I mean, of those opportunities. So, yeah, I think that people who have not yet had the opportunity to spend time with Richard, I think should take comfort in that if you have spent time with him on stream, you've spent time with Richard. Like the man who on stream is the man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not, you know, what he's saying on stream is what he's saying when he's turned the camera off and he's walking, you know, down to the local cafe. Like, you know, Richard is always Richard. Like he wakes up thinking about the things that are important to him. He goes to sleep thinking about the things that are important to him. He puts his time and energy in only those things that he finds important. If he doesn't find it important, he's not doing it. He has that level of freedom to focus on the things that he wants to, that so many other people aspire to. So many people look for financial independence because they go, I just want to be concerned about the things that concern me. I don't want to have to be concerned with the minutia of life. And he has found and created a lifestyle and an opportunity that affords him those things. The interesting thing is, you know, is that what everyone would spend their time and energy focusing on if they were in the same position? And I, you know, garnered to say that that's not true, that we wouldn't all think or feel or have the same priority that Richard does, but he's unapologetic in it. That's for sure.
I think that that's one of the most critical things about financial freedom is just being able to own your own time, be able to focus on what you want to, and not being told where to go, how to dress, what to do, got to be here at a certain time. And not everyone would be, you know, a lot of people be lost. They really would, because, you know, they either don't have a lot of focuses in life, or they don't know what they would do, or they're just not in that. They never thought it's even possible to do that. But then there's also a lot of people who would say, if I just had the time back, if I didn't have to work and pay the mortgage and all this stuff, then I could do other hopefully great things, and, you know, be that force for good in the world. And that this community is full of both types of people. It's just so fascinating to see that play out in a man who, you know, has been rich, retired forever. And now he's like, I have these things I want to do, like, and I have the time to do them. I have the brain to do them. I have the will to do them. Let me go work on some key stuff in the world. It's been an amazing story to see.